Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Linda Barker, and I'm a sister of the hood, aka now a seasoned sister of the hood. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to come into your home to discuss what been on my mind and on my heart, and I think it's time for us to begin our dialogue on it. My topic for discussion tonight is the voices for change in the justice system. Now, we know that the justice system is set up just for us. And we also know that in that process, we have been taught how to separate to work for the same cause, but in different arenas. In other words, section ourselves off. With our new voices, we need to come together. We need to talk about what we can do to make a whole. Everybody talks about a holistic approach, but do they really know what a holistic approach is? A holistic approach is the whole of it, not just part, it's the whole. So, what we need to do as people is come together and work as a whole. I'm speaking on this tonight because we're about to go into January 2022. Are you ready? Are you ready to find out what can happen to your family members that are incarcerated? Are you ready to find out what you can do to prevent any more harm being brought upon them? Each and every individual that's incarcerated has gone through some type of traumatic experience through this ordeal. The families have suffered, the community suffers, and now it's time for us to make our voices heard. But it's time for us to come together as a whole to do this. We can no longer, you pull one way, I pull another way, and it never gets anywhere. It never gets anywhere. Okay, now, if we come together as a team, we can remember one thing, that team is just what it means. Together, everyone can achieve. And the main goal in this is for the individuals that are suffering the most from this. I just want to bring to you something that I'm sure you've heard about, but you don't really believe is true. And this will relate back to the voice for change. Okay? Now, every prison has a fund that's used to provide certain essentials. Keep that in mind at all times because everything you hear about, you keep that in mind. Why is it that the prisons cannot provide water, drinkable water, usable water for the inmates inside the prison? What's causing this problem? That's one. The second one is what can we do as a whole collectively to help with the elimination of so much suffering for from the lack of the things that are needed within the prison. What can we do? Okay, I'll tell you what we can do. Instead of stopping at Starbucks buying an $8 cup of coffee, you can buy you some Folgers and put it in a pot, cook it, take it to work with you. You can carry a lunch. Do that for a week. And whatever you come up with, you can always utilize it towards sowing seed toward that need for those inmates. Now, We do know that some people are more fortunate than others, but we're talking about collectively. We're talking about reaching out, making sure that everyone that's in need, that's incarcerated, is being helped. And the only way we can do that is we come together as a team, not you for you and me for me. And no, it's not about us, it's about those that are suffering. Now, I hope that this does not offend anyone, but I feel like everybody that has a quarter can take a nickel of that quarter and put it in a jar and label it to help others, just to see what can come of that in a short period of time. If we take ourselves out of what, well, I don't have anyone in prison, or I don't have anyone at the county jail, or I don't have a kid at the Audie home, or I don't know of anyone in that type of area. Well, let me say this to you. That person, God has truly, truly been good to you, because these scenarios hit each and every family in existence. But it's more of an impact for the people of color. So, what I'm saying is, we have to work together, form a plan, work that plan, and not look at what it's going to give you. Because if it doesn't give you nothing but satisfaction of knowing that you helped someone else with a cup of water, water now, water, isn't that one of God's elements? Now we're struggling for it. Help us to be able to help those that can't help themselves. There's a young lady that's doing a all over drive to help make this possible. Her name is Cassandra Greer. If you're interested in making a donation and you want to make sure that um, you can reach her, contact me. Hit me on my website. I have an email, Sisters of the Hood 312 at Gmail. Leave a message. Message me. I'm not hard to find. But we have to do this together, people. We have to look at what is really going on and how it's really affecting. It's not just affecting the inner family, it's affecting everyone. And it's now time for our voices to be heard. And oh, by any means, understand, I want you to understand this. I'm just coming in. I've been sitting in the background hoping someone would be wise enough to say what we really need to be doing, and that's working together instead of working one on one side and one on another side. We're never going to get anywhere. The new slavery will constantly continue to exist. We're going to end it. We're going to bring everyone to the forefront and make everyone part of what the change is going to be. There has been some new laws that are going to come out. We're going to talk about those laws and find out what we can do, what those laws will do for us. It's time for us to pay attention and to become a part of what's really going on. Our voices together make a loud voice, but our voices one on one is not going anywhere. And even though there are bigger organizations that are doing other things, I'm talking about what we can do. We need to quit sitting back waiting on others to do for us and start doing for ourselves. And the first thing is coming together to make sure that we're helping with someone that can't help themselves. That's the first thing. The second thing is to look at why this is happening. What's going on with this? What kind of investigations are being done? What's the record of it? Who knows? I don't. But collectively, we should be able to come together. We have educated people of color. We have people of color that has status. We need to reach out to them, tap them on the shoulder, and let them know our voices are ready to be heard. It's time for a change. And I hope and I pray that it touches the aldermen, the congressmen, the statesmen, whoever, everyone, the churches. We need to come together when they're taking up those offerings, make an extra offering, a benevolent offering for some families in prison. Because it's not just about the water, they're going to need help with getting papers and things put in place. Because whether you know it or not, they have nothing to work with in the prisons. I have a prayer list of 16 individuals right now from different prisons that are constantly calling me, and I'm letting them know nothing has transpired yet. So please help me to help them. I don't know it all. I'm not going to claim I know it all. I'm not going to try to know it all. I'm going to stay in my lane, and that's word the hell out of you about what we should be doing. You want to talk about holistic? Look at my mission statement. It's been the same mission statement since 2003, the beginning. The holistic approach to self-sufficiency is the holistic approach. It's working as a whole. It's not just working that one piece. You don't have to work the other pieces, but you know where those pieces can be completed at. So that's your extra work. That's what's going to help you make that holistic complete. Instead of looking at, oh, it's my job to do a case assessment. Yeah, you're getting paid to do a case assessment, but you're also getting paid to listen to what that person is trying to tell you and to help that person to apply some principles and some favors that are due you to help that person get to the next level. It might not be an extra dollar on your check, but it should be an extra fresh breath of air you would breathe in knowing you help somebody else. God is showing us in miraculous ways his manifestation right now in this world. We're seeing more things done that are unbeknownst to us. We need to read that book. And in that book, it tells us what we got to do. I do hope that you got something out of this because you will be hearing from me again. And in the meantime, I want you to look up another organization, contact another friend, tell them what we're trying to do. Listen out for the time that we're going to need you. It's necessary, people. We are our brother's keeper. We are responsible for each other. The old saying, it took a village to raise a child. For those of you that were around in the 60s and the 70s, you know what that meant. It's time for us to bring back those values to what's going on now. Apply that same principle, helping my neighbor. I want to thank you for giving me an opportunity, and I do hope that you share this and be ready for me again. Be blessed.